In the transition from CSGO to CS2, one of the biggest changes we had to deal with was the jump to a new format. The change from MR16 to MR12 fundamentally changed how we thought about Counter-Strike at its very core, and since then, we've had to adapt to an ever-changing new meta for the first time in over a decade. And while I'm firmly in the camp that the MR12 change is one of the best to happen to Counter-Strike in maybe its entire history, it certainly hasn't been free of controversy, bumps, and issues along the way. And in the build-up to the first major coming up in just a few weeks, people are really starting to scrutinize the validity of MR12 as a format, which begs the question in the title: has MR12 failed? In my opinion, no. But today, we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the impact on both the pro and casual scene, and how we got to this point in the first place. My name is LionHeartZ. Welcome back to the channel. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and every single sub helps along the way. Thanks to your support, I recently gained access to channel memberships, so for $5 a month, you can support me directly in what we do here. And thank you to the first round of members, my brothers Jesse and Justin, as well as my friend Furley. Thank you guys so much. And make sure you guys also check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ1337. I stream Sunday through Friday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Counter-Strike 2, and Baldur's Gate on the weekends. Without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, I think it's nice to start off with a little bit of history and context for how we got here. If you're newer to the game or you just didn't know, we used to play under MR16 with a maximum rounds of 30 before overtime, back in CSGO, and then previously in Source in 1.6. So we've been playing this format for most of my entire life, which is really crazy to think about, but I digress. And prior to CSGO, Valve were very hands-off with how we decided to play the game, both casually and especially at the competitive and the pro level. Counter-Strike's pro scene is very much grassroots, but moving into CSGO, it was clear Valve wanted to be more directly involved. And the first things first was unifying the game under a single format. And since then, a consistent goal of Valve has been to shorten the average game without harming the competitive format. Because the one drawback of MR16 is that the games can be rather long, especially if a game goes the entire distance. This is why overtime was not a mechanic in regular matchmaking at any point in CSGO's lifetime. Now, this issue of match length really reached a critical mass in the last few years of CSGO's lifespan, especially after Valorant came out and showed that the shorter format could work. It was clear that the CSGO meta was starting to stagnate, especially at the pro level where the economy and the meta had been solved in such a way that games were really starting to slow down. It was way more effective to have rounds where you just did nothing, bought absolutely nothing into a round and full saved, and those rounds would just add unnecessary time into games, causing things to slow down way too much. One of Valve's big initiatives to help speed up the game was to introduce the short match format. The short match format was MR9, and that was just a way to get people to want to play Counter-Strike, but not have to full commit to a maximum length competitive game. And I really liked short matches. When I first came back to CSGO right before CS2 went live, that was all I played because it was easy, it was digestible, and the best part about it, if you were getting stomped, you were not stuck for 45 minutes to an hour waiting for the game to end. So it was clear a core design philosophy going into CS2 was make matches shorter, improve watchability and playability, and what they landed on was MR12. MR12 feels like a great compromise for the game. What I really like about it is that the games still feel meaningful, there's still time to manufacture comebacks, it has all of the upsides of the longer formats, but it's not so short that essentially nothing can happen. It fits for both the competitive scene and the casual scene really seamlessly. At least it definitely did on paper. It's been clear now that we've had a lot of time to play MR12 that there are definitely some issues that are worth addressing. And a lot of it I think has to do less with the format specifically, but the way the game is molded around it. With the major qualifiers now done and the stage set for Copenhagen in a few weeks, it's very clear now that the format for tournament qualifying for the major needs to be updated to fit what CS2 is going to offer. Before, an MR16 best of 1, while not ideal, did not have as much match variance as an MR12 best of 1. This has made the upset potential at the pro level exceptionally high, and we've seen this in basically every tournament that's had best of 1 in it since CS2 has come out. There have been major upsets that I don't think would have happened under a sturdier format. The reality is, in any pro game, best of one is just far too random for how high the skill level is of a game like Counter-Strike. And now that matches are shorter, they're easier to watch, best of threes are now the most optimal format in the game, and moving forward, Valve should extend the RMR tournaments and make them all at least best of three. Preferably some kind of seeded system as well to reduce the potential of groups of death situations, but even just moving off of best of ones in general and keeping the current format would be a massive upgrade. But the question then becomes, is it purely MR12 that's at fault here? Or is MR12 compounding other issues still present in the game? My answer is obviously yes. I think there are other issues within the format that are leading to this high level of variance, both in personal play and at the competitive level. The reality is, the economic system behind CS2 right now is not fit to purpose for the MR12 format. We're still holding over the economic rules from CSGO, which apply to a much longer game, and even then had their own issues. So of course, when we move to a shorter format, that's going to create more issues along the seams that have only become more evident with time. You see, one of the big things we've talked about over and over and over again on this channel is how bad the CT economy is. The reality is, the CT economy was still bad in CSGO for many of the same reasons. It was still so hard to maintain buys alongside the terrorists, especially if you were losing. You found yourself double saving and full saving far more often than you would in past CSGO metas, and certainly in CS2 right now. Valve never took the time to fix this economic imbalance between the two sides before the transition to CS2, and that has in some ways exacerbated the problem, because now, in the shorter format, you don't have nearly as much time to justify full saves or god forbid double saves as you would have. So while in CSGO, you did not force buy nearly as often as you do now, you feel like you almost have to in CS2 because there simply aren't enough rounds in the half to build up your economy. And I think that adds a lot to the volatility we are witnessing. There's so little time to get established that if you lose pistol and then the first 2 or 3 after, that 4-round deficit is almost always going to be a T-half win, especially against better or equally skilled opponents who are going to punish your economy further. You're already sometimes 4 rounds in the hole. Even if you go on to win those next handful of rounds, if you take another loss, how much time is left for you to get more buys in because it's so expensive to buy to begin with on the CT side? The amount of times that I've gone on CT win streaks only to lose 1 round and then not have the possibility to buy back the next round is astounding. You almost always have to save in those situations because it's just too expensive. The Ts do not have that problem. So, in short, has MR12 failed in CS2? No, I don't think so. But I don't think Valve have set it up to succeed at all. And it's very clear in the post-major cycle, when Valve is going to look at rebalancing the game in a major way, the first thing that needs to be looked at is the economy. With a better economy, MR12's issues definitely fade away in my eyes. I think the pros of shorter matches, the more concise format, the reduced match time, all these things are so worth the risk that we should never consider going back to MR16. At that point, all Valve needs to do is standardize the major format, extend the RMRs by 1 or 2 days if they need to, and get rid of best of one. If we could all just agree as a competitive scene to never play best of one again, Counter-Strike and its future products will be so much better than they are now. It's too much variance at any point. It's never been a good format. No one likes best of ones. Even the viewers don't because no one likes to see unjustified upsets. Let's just get rid of it. Best of threes in CS2 are so much better to watch than they were in CSGO. Not to play into the small indie dev company meme, but Valve, you guys make so much fucking money from the major cycle that it's clear we can afford to do this. There's enough talent, there's enough casters and analysts who want to do it, the players want it. This is a win-win for everybody. Make it happen, and MR12 will be the enduring format of Counter-Strike for years to come with 0 issues. And that's all I got to say on the topic. If you guys want to talk about MR12, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. Is there another format you'd like to see Valve try? Would you like to see short matches come back to CS2 as a non-competitive game mode, maybe for the sake of training and getting better? That might be interesting. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe as well to help out with the channel immensely. Once again, thank you to the first handful of members on the YouTube channel, Justin, Jesse, and Furley. You guys are amazing. I love you all. And yeah, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ1337, Sunday through Friday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be live after this video goes up tonight. And I'll see you soon with another one. Peace.